Hello and welcome back. This is going to be I'm going to be looking at the archives in Bendy and the Dark Revival. So here we go. Alrighty. Waiting for it to load, and here we are. Welcome to the archives. Bendy and the Dark Revival is filled with numerous characters that each had a critical role to play in the progression of the game. Here in the archives you will learn a little more about them in a an up close and personal way. Feel free to explore. Let's look at Bendy first. Bendy, the iconic imp, was redesigned for Bendy in the Dark to stand out a bit from his traditional cartoon appearance by giving him a suit of clothes. This posed some minor challenges, especially creating the face supported a classic Bendy's eerie smile, still managed to be heartwarming in the right conditions. He is still a fan favorite. He is a fan favorite, so his design had to be just right. During production, we originally envisioned Bendy to talk with a series of cute noises to contrast the dark, low voice of the Ink Demon, but it turned out to be very distracting, and the deal was scrapped pretty early on. Let's look at the Ink Demon. Ink Demon. The previous versions of it look silly, and no amount of creepy or how out of place. The ink needed to look different from everything else in the world and show a natural progression in the Ink Demon's evolution as Wilson held the cycle in place. Beast Bendy. Returning for the climax, Beast Bendy also resided a mindset far more powerful and beast-like. Traditionally, most tend to be a main villain or final form boss as a final boss. It's practically a trope. Our idea: what if you gotta play as the final form? Is that final form instead? Let's look at Audrey. To make our story work, you need a newcomer to the cartoon, and Audrey was a perfect from what section. If people, by the end of the game itself wouldn't be successful, she turns out to be quite memorable and stand out from other members of the cast. Wilson. Terrifically, first he was one-note character, obviously evil, over-the-top other side of the characters, modeled with the man in one draft, a separate character at the time, but the story made more sense as the two characters became one, eliminating a lot of needless narrative complexity. Designed by Thomas Conrad, the Gent Copper is stolen by Joey Drew, retrieved by Archgate Studio, and once again reclaimed by Gent. Ink Machine's next adventure is a mystery. Woo. Cycle Breakers. Henry Stein, the original Cycle Breaker. Henry Stein was the ghost of a man who lost his purpose years ago. Once fueled with finding a way to escape the tortures of the Ink and finding a way home to his wife, Henry is now left with the cold reality of being a recreation of the person he thought he was. Saved as a special surprise of Bendy and the Ink Machine game, Henry was strictly omitted from all public discussion character during the entire production, which spent several years, but Henry returned with a very satisfying face reveal. Allison, returning for another victory over the Ink Demon. Allison is always the voice of reason, a beacon for hope. Allison's design was carefully upgraded from the previous Bendy and the Ink Machine game to maintain her personality, but with more fidelity, and the purpose of meeting Allison so early in the campaign was introduce the player to a familiar face from the main introduction. At the start, Allison was able to serve as the motivating force for Audrey until the true plot kicked in later. Tom is Allison's silent protector and the only Boris clone involved with the main story. Where is Boris Rose? Rumor has it during the events of the game, Boris is experiencing a dark survival story of his own. So basically, the Bendy and Boris in the dark survival video game. Joey! The man, the legend, the memory. Created in Joey was an exciting and daunting process. It was clear that Joey would be different from with all the guilt of his past lives, but without the experience of fully understanding. The real Joey made many mistakes and ultimately learned from them. This doesn't absolve him of sin. At the end of his life, he was able to help correct some of them and fight the darkness he corrected. Betty, a faithful maid among other things to Wilson. As a failed experience, virtually new in cartoon studio, she was able to give a somewhat different point of view on the state of the world. She repurposes the unclear if it was plot to harvest Archie or she was just behind her mask. There are still answers to be found. Oh. Where are we? Nathan Arch Sr. worked hard, built up for nothing, big dreams, but his own dreams. He and his wife raised his son, much to care for, and despite Nathan, sadly, his son did not share natural talent for business and enterprise. Ooh, donut. Listen, the unknown daughter of the animation pioneer blocked out the memory of losing her father, but the role of a tainted animator and artist, her skills of landed Archgate. Was it fate that Renate would know the machine of her birth, or was it planned? Haunted by the shadow of Nathan Arch, Williams is holding the cycle in place. He continued his experiments, fully realizing even naturally entered into the ink realm, taking a toll and physically slowly robbing him of his health. Okay. So those two are the cartoon ones, and those are the real ones over there. Porter! Cartoon new characters such as Porter, a lost one who claimed new identity as an explorer. Porter's Dark Revival first game, that hearted innocence would help to feel some worth in the inky world of sorrow. Heidi! Heidi spent some time in the pit, a prison set up by Wilson. It is unclear why. Access to places she shouldn't have. Experiences have changed her as it does many, reverting her to a childlike state and longing for happiness again. Wait a minute. Sammy! Ooh, Sammy. Samuel Lawrence, famous music composer of the studio. Samuel Lawrence originally had a slightly larger role in the story of the Dark Revival, but the story, already filled with so many characters, making all the play a meaningful part became a challenge. He ultimately sidelined in favor of a more coherent storyline. Although it is interesting to note Samuel Lawrence appeared to master the flow ability and Bendy on the ink machine long before Porty and Audrey could wield it. Amok. River of the Sewer Cult. He was weak in a fight. His name will simply never die. Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice. Self-appointed queen of the studio, Alice Angel is the most memorable faces in the many worlds. Forever lost and tied in insanity, she is absolute delight to write as a character. An angel with many layers, time can only tell us this inky temptress will ever appear. I hated this guy. Ink Widow began to infest where the light grows darkest. Their king, the darkest most only will emerge from his nest when its young are threatened. Oh, so that's the name of it. Savoy Doodly. French demented invention of Wilson, created to serve dual purpose of dethroning the ink demon in the cartoon world and also upstaging Joey Drew in the eyes of Wilson's father, Nathan Arch. Neither of these happens. Savoy Doodly is a mysterious sailor with its own air green, similar to that of Benny. Along with his sidekick, Crackle the Crab, it is unknown what kind of cartoon adventures they would have together. So that's why he had crab legs. That makes so much more sense. And then Lurker. Steve. Was originally created root type ending. Free lost ones do. Ink demon. Blah blah blah. A lurker found unlikely ally. Effectively exciting more than a typical enemy. So that's why he had crab legs. Makes a lot more sense. Sammy, it's nice to see you again. Now we're off to the enemies, or these people. Cert, the keepers. Silently, generally perfect. Keepers get legit no matter the cost. They inside keeping the powers until Audrey cannot not only challenge the solution visually designed to reflect the dangers of an eagle's faceless and gears with no sense of morality or ordered around like integration, living without a purpose. Let's look at yes, Barley. The original members deconstructed by Alice, Angel, and bond together to stay alive, sneak attacks on their prey, and darker by the artificial fourth member, Carly the Ghost Girl. You begin to examine her closely, only appears to show. Perhaps there is someone inside. That's the Piper. That's Fisher. Or what used to be the Fisher. Oh. That's the weird spider. Is he a spider? Yeah, he's a spider. He has more than one leg, or 2 legs. Carly the Ghost Girl. Never saw her in the game. Oh, looks like there is teeth. Perhaps there is someone inside. Well, this has been my look at the archives, and I'll see you next time.